kind of interesting, and you've kind of mentioned this a little bit before the break and before this, and now too, is how important community is for women. And on the one hand, in my experience, I found that women tend to go one of two paths. One is the very natural community path. I mean, because like it takes a village to raise a child. I mean, we're born communicators. We're really good at that bonding and helping each other. And the other path is where they go like totally lone. They become catty. They're in competition with all the other women, and they cut themselves off from that community. And so I think what's great about this conference is it's showing that even in the cutthroat world of, career, community is so important to us, and that there really is no competition. We're here to help each other. And when we all help each other, we all win.
We all win. Well, and I'd love to give you a quick little story about it. Just a great example of that is,
Okay.
so my neighbor, she has 10 kids.
Oh my.
So Trina Rowland, 10 kids, and her son Alex is best friends with my son. And so my son's 14 years old. So he's over at their house one Saturday, and she's making pancakes. And so imagine like all her kids plus the neighborhood kids. And so she's there, she's flipping pancakes and making these great pancakes. And so my son, out of the mouths of babes, 14, says, my mom can't make pancakes. My mom's a terrible cook.
Oh
And so he
no.
starts saying this, which he's absolutely right. I just, I did not get that gift. God gave me many gifts, but one of the gifts was not cooking. And so he starts saying this. And so she's flipping these pancakes. So she's hearing him, say this. So she stops what she's doing and she goes and sits at the table, and she looks at my son and she says, Chase, she goes, your mom might not be a great pancake maker, but she is helping other moms. And I get a little bit choked up because I just think how amazing, because what she was doing was she took that opportunity to create a teaching moment for my son
Right.
and for all her kids. But what happened was she talked to him and she's like, this is, moms do different things.
Exactly.
And this is how they contribute to the world, and this is what they're doing. And this is why, your mom is special. And so my son, books on home. Here he's like, oh,
Yay.
I threw my mom under the bus. So he heads on home and he says, Mom, I think you're great. This is what happened. So he tells me what Trina said. And so I call her up, and there we are. We're both on the phone, and she's crying. I'm crying. And she says, and I just said, I just have to thank you, because for me, you do, it's the working moms
Hmm.
feel guilty because I travel, the stay home moms, they feel guilty. I mean, it's just this, when we stop doing the comparisons and we do what Trina did, and it's really women supporting other women and these
Exactly.
acts of kindness
Yeah.
and really reaching out, that's when, we will have and develop this community, and Trina, she had an option. She could have said, you know what, you're right, Chase, gosh, that's too bad that your mom doesn't know how to do that. I'm such this great pancake maker. And it was funny because, she was telling me on the phone, she goes, I look at what you do and, it's like amazing. You're doing all these things. And I go, Trina, you have 10 kids.
Wow.
You homeschool those kids. She runs like this major blog. I mean, she's like this force. And again, I think that when we can be loving like Trina was and really support, and we have those opportunities, to really take a stand for one another.
Hmm.
And it's women investing in other women. And I think that's, we talked about, the equality of women, not happening until 2085. I predict that because we're going to see the shift of how we show up, and we will show up like Trina, did.
Exactly.
That's when we'll see those differences happen. And we won't see the equality happen until 2085. It happened now.
Right. And, it's interesting. See, she was actually doing two things at the same time. One, she was showing, women supporting women, but she was also educating a future male leader in the world about how wonderful women are. And so it helped him see another side of
Right.
women. So yes, it's great that women are supporting each other, but men are participating in the California Women's Conference. Men have a role in this too.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm asked this all the time. And what's interesting, and we have 17% of our attendees are men
Hmm.
that go to the event. And that continues to grow because men are understanding, women represent 85% of the consumer, out of the home. They're making those decisions. So it's really, really important. And I always, say, a man started the California Women's Conference. Governor George Duke Majan
Exactly.
started that. So they make great mentors, and it's important. It's, to be able to go ahead and say, we want to be able to do these things. We need the equality represented on our boards. We
Hmm.
need women in leadership roles in our governments. And, to be able to go ahead and look to see, what is taking place and how we can make sure that that equality is happening.
Exactly. We may be two genders, but we are one species.
Very well said. Well
Thank
said.
you.